Welcome to the A+B Podcast, where two blokes chat about the entertainment news that has occurred over the last week. I'm Alex Winfield, and I'm joined by my glorious co-host.
Hello there. I thought you were going to say my name. Start again.
No, I'm not starting again. What's your name?
Burgundy Manley.
There we go. We got there eventually.
I thought you were saying my name. That's why.
How are you though?
I'm good. I'm very well. How about yourself, my friend?
Marvelous. How is the quarantine life treating you?
It's all right. You know, I get up, watch some TV, go to bed, play some games.
When you say go to bed, play some games, are you playing them in your sleep?
Sure. Let's go with that. What about yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. I've taken this time to finally catch up on a lot of things that I'm sure we'll talk about later.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully things are going to start becoming a little bit better. You know, lots of cases in Italy and Spain and France and Germany. They're all starting to go down now. So it looks like, knock on wood, the worst is behind us. And did you hear in the state of Georgia in America they're going to start reopening gyms, cinemas, and like restaurants like next week?
Why? That's insane.
Right. The reason behind it was like, well, the curve, it's beginning to curve, so we might as well open things back up. John Campier did like this great sort of thing about it, saying that's the equivalent of jumping out of a plane, like pulling out your parachute and be like, oh, well, the parachute is slowing me down. I might as well just take it off now.
Oh God! Yeah, he's not wrong. Like, no,
Yeah.
that's absolutely idiotic. Why wouldn't you wait for it to completely drop and then open everything up?
Yeah,
Like,
even the cinemas were like, we can open, but we're not gonna. There's nothing to show.
Like, I would definitely say, like, pubs, cinemas, clubs, you know, everything like that, they should be the last things to open. Because when they do open, there's going to be a bunch of people going to these places, and if the thing hasn't dropped, you're just risking it for the thing to go back up again.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one to see how long it's gonna take for when things start to open back up again. How long it takes for people to actually go back to the way things were. You know, how long it's gonna take for like clubs, for example, to go back to as busy as they were. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's either going to be one or two things. Either it's going to like slowly build, or everyone's just going to rush in at once because they're so keen. Like, have you seen those pictures of people going, "Oh, I'm just going down to Tesco's real quick," but they're in like a full-on suit? People are so sick of just wearing like jogging bottoms and like trackies and stuff.
Amazing.
When it comes to for movies, for example, because I know we've been watching a lot of those during quarantine. What have you been watching lately?
I've decided to jump into the Tarantino films.
Oh yes,
Yes.
You've been starting like from the beginning, or are you just going random?
Random. At the moment, I've watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Hateful Eight.
Is that your first time?
That was my first time when I saw it. Yeah.
Okay.
I watched Hateful Eight and Django Unchained.
Mm.
At the moment, those three are the ones I've watched.
What's your favorite Tarantino film?
What, of all time?
I guess, yeah.
Django Unchained.
You know, I'm right there with you.
Yeah, it's just.
I think Django is by far the best.
Yeah, I really like the casting in that.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I think, is an interesting one because I think you enjoy it the more you watch it.
Yeah, it's a very polarized movie. I personally really loved it. But I know a lot of people don't like it because it's obviously
it's very unconventional.
Yeah, it's also like, I guess to some people who aren't as interested in the film industry, it comes across more pretentious than it does, you know, like your casual film might come across.
Yeah, they compensate that with all those feet, though.
How about yourself?
Well, believe it or not, I haven't actually watched another Bond film.
I was actually going to ask you about that.
Week.
Okay.
But I have finally got around to watching these two films. I'd watched the first one ages ago, but I never watched the second one. That was The Godfather 1 and 2.
Okay.
Yeah, finally rewatched the first one and watched the second one. They're bloody long. They are bloody long
See,
films.
that's why I've always avoided watching them.
but they're good. They're really good. They're
Yeah,
really, really
okay.
good.
I might look into that then.
Yeah, I feel like you have to kind of go in with measured expectations, because when I went into it to watch it, people say The Godfather 1 and 2 are the greatest films ever made.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they're certainly really good. I don't know if I could ever say that's the best thing I've ever seen in my life. There's definitely films that I enjoy watching more.
Yeah.
But you could definitely appreciate and you could kind of understand why people think that.
Do you reckon it's more of for that time period, it's seen as the greatest film of all time?
I guess so. But it's also, when you watch it, you see how much it's inspired stuff today.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just like that whole sort of gangster genre.
Yeah, yeah.
It's definitely interesting. And
Okay, well, I
yeah,
know
I
it's got a
definitely give them a look.
giant cast and everything as well.
Yeah, that was like in the second one. It has like Robert De Niro in it, and that's like the first thing he was like ever in.
Oh, okay.
And he's like so young, and he's so thin, and it's like proper jarring. Because the last thing I saw him in was The Irishman when he was so old.
How's his acting
Yeah.
in that film?
It's interesting. Yeah, his voice doesn't match him though, because the voice is that of like a 50-year-old man, but he's in like a 20-year-old's body. But it's good though, and he's got this proper small mustache. All right. Well, shall we jump into some of the news that's happened this week?
Let's do it.
So the first one we got to talk about is Venom 2. So Sony's Venom sequel has the release date and title. So the official title is Venom: Let There Be Carnage. The film has been delayed from October 2nd, 2020 to June 25th, 2021. The original date of The Batman, which we'll chat about in a bit. This now means Venom 2 is going to be releasing just 3 weeks before Tom Holland's third Spider-Man film, causing a lot of people to think that too might be delayed, especially since Tom Holland was supposed to be filming Uncharted before filming Spider-Man 3. Both projects have now been put on pause due to the whole virus. Hi there, Alex here. So, sorry to interrupt, but literally as we were recording this episode, it got announced that, yes, Spider-Man 3 has been delayed. It's now coming out in November. Cheers for that, lads. You couldn't have announced it a bit early if you wanted to. What was interesting was they were filming Uncharted. Literally, everyone got on costume, got on set. It was like day one of set. They were about to finally film this thing, and day one of set, they were like, "Nah, close it down, go home."
I think it's a sign for them to not make this.
Yeah. But what do you think of this title? And now it's been delayed. What is it like? At least 8 months?
Mm-hmm. It's interesting with the title because it's a bit long. That even being said, like I remember like previously when we were talking about this, that it's interesting they didn't go with the name Maximum Carnage. Now, my assumption on that is that because in that particular comic, Spider-Man is in it.
I guarantee though, from that title, I can guarantee what if not the opening scene, what like one of the opening scenes, and it's going to be. You've seen the original Venom, right?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, so you've seen that glorious end credit scene, haven't you?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to start at that prison, right?
Yeah.
And you're going to have good old Ronald McDonald, Woody Harrelson, Cletus Cassidy with that Ronald McDonald wig on. And he's going to be, like the prison ward or whatever. He's going to be delivering like food on a plate, right? And he's going to be like, I can't reach it because he's like in that, he's in that straight jacket, right? He can't use his hands.
Yeah.
And then he's going to like knock the dude out with his head or something. He's going to like pinch a fork that he was meant to be given with. He's going to like pick his lock, get out. He's then either going to murk a bunch of people whilst he's getting out, or he's going to cause a prison riot. Somehow that prison's getting set on fire. You just know it. And then he's going to be there. We're going to have this big silhouetted shot of Woody Harrelson standing amongst the flames of this prison. And then he's just going to look directly in the camera and he's going to say, "Let there be carnage."
Oh, God.
Titles,
Oh, man. To be honest, man, if I was a betting man and this film was written by the guys who wrote Suicide Squad, I'd be all for that. Let's be honest.
You just know that title's going to be said in the film.
Oh, it's so
There's no way it
cringy.
won't.
I'm looking forward to that now.
I'm kind of looking forward. I'm oddly looking forward to Venom 2 though, purely because like CaRnAgE. I'm interested to see what they're going to do with that. But also, like Andy Serkis is directing it. You know, who knows
Oh
quite a
yeah, I
lot
totally
about,
forgot
you know,
about
of course, mocap and all that kind of stuff.
that.
And I
think
trust him.
it's going to be interesting because CaRnAgE is a very violent character, so it'll
Yeah,
be interesting to see how they, I guess, PG-13 that.
I guess what I'm interested in is I think it's definitely going to be better than the first one because of
Well,
just like it very much the first one very much felt like a like testing grounds almost, you know? Like it was like, yeah, let's see if we can actually do this. And now they've sort of seen what they can do. They were like, okay, it's made 800 million. Yeah, greenlight a second one, chuck everything in it that we actually wanted to do the first time, you know? What do you think the odds are that Tom Holland pops up in Venom 2?
yeah, I could see that.
Because I think there's a high chance, especially what they've done with Morbius now, putting Michael Keaton in that. I think it's very clear they want to go full on with this universe, you know?
I think it's likely we'll get a cameo of some sorts. I think we'll also get one in Morbius as well.
I think we've already seen it because you know what Sony are like with their marketing. I think that scene with Michael Keaton was the after credits scene. Yeah,
Yeah, that could be interesting.
'cause
Yeah,
you remember in Spider-Man: Homecoming, they showed the whole plot in the trailer, and
yeah.
then with Amazing Spider-Man 2, they literally had the final shot of the film in the trailer. They pretty much showed Gwen dying. They
Oh,
showed everything.
they also showed the Rhino
They're
thing,
not the
didn't they?
best.
As well, which
Oh,
was.
who could forget? How do you feel about having to wait like 8 to 9 months for it?
I mean, we're waiting for everything else. Um, it's
Mm.
nothing new. It does kind of
Which is
suck.
weird. I'm surprised they have delayed it though, because I'm pretty certain that they finished filming the whole thing.
I don't really know because I know a lot of companies, like a lot of studios, are doing this at the moment. And is it just because they're concerned about their worldwide revenue rather than their like local revenue? The US may open up cinemas and everything like that, and other countries may follow shortly after. But you know, we don't know what the state of every other country is. So it might be that the reason for all these delays is just worldwide revenue.
It very much could be. But I'm looking forward to Venom Let There Be Carnage. Still
That
can't get
sounds
over that title.
yeah,
It sounds but I kind of like it at how ridiculous it is.
it does kind of
But
the title does kind of give it a B movie vibe.
yeah. Yeah. Well, sticking with films based on comic books, you know, Martin Scorsese's favorite genre. Moving from Marvel to DC, they too have shifted a bunch of their film dates around. So they've moved a bunch of films around right up till 2022. Have you seen or heard about this?
I have not. You will have to enlighten me.
So I will read off some of the new dates. I'll read you off the current slate. Some dates have been pushed back, some dates have actually been pushed forward, and some have just stayed the same. So the current slate is Wonder Woman 1984, August 14th, 2020, delayed from June 5th. Then next is The Suicide Squad, August 6th, 2021. That date has stayed the same. So the Batman as is now October 1st, 2021, delayed from June 25th, 2021. Black Adam, December 22nd, 2021. That date's been unaltered. The Flash is now June 3rd, 2022, and it's been pushed up from July 1st, 2022. Shazam 2 is now November 4th, 2022, delayed from April 1st, 2022. And finally, there's Aquaman 2, December 16th, 2022, and that date has remained the same. So the ones that have been delayed are Wonder Woman, Batman, and Shazam 2, and The Flash has been pushed forward a month. First one, do you think Wonder Woman's actually going to come out in August? It's already been delayed from June. Do you think it's actually going to come out in August?
I'd like it to come out in August. But no, I would hope it does come out. I am excited to see what they do with the sequel. The first film was okay. I didn't think it was as amazing as some critics made it out to be. It's not a terrible film, don't get me wrong. But yeah, no, I am hyped for it. I do hope it does release in August, but we will have to see.
Yeah, because what's interesting is how Warner Brothers is going about some of their films. Because recently there was like a whole statement put out about Tenet, because Tenet is still has got its July 2020 release date. Like it's refusing to move.
I'm glad.
And a big chunk of why that is, they said it's because if cinemas open back up again, yeah, like that might be the only film there. So people might, it can play across almost every single screen. So it doesn't matter if they have to like halve the amount of people that can go in, because people could just go into every single screen available because it's the only game in town.
Oh, that's kind of clever, to be fair.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. So I think Nolan's like sticking with it until like they force him to delay it, I guess.
Because
Yeah.
the way of thinking that as well is if somebody goes, "Oh, I really want to go see a movie," and if that's the only new thing out, by default, people will have to go and see it.
And I think also people have such like a hunger just to get back in there that they'll
Yeah.
just go watch anything. The general public, they'll be like, "I just want to watch something. Let's watch that."
It also gives them a free run at the Oscars as well, when you come to think about it. Like,
exactly, yeah. Well, I saw this picture and it was quite funny, and it was like, here are the Oscar nominees for for 2020, and on the 10 films are just the 10 films that have come out this year. So it's like Birds of Prey, Bad Boys for Life, Sonic the Hedgehog, all that kind of stuff. What film on this list are you looking forward to the most?
The Batman, my friend.
The Batman.
But yeah, that and I would say Shazam 2.
Yeah. I understand why the Batman's been delayed, because they had to actually like stop filming it.
Yeah. It's also that's their big poster boy, isn't it? So
I'm interested to see like why the others got delayed. Why has like Shazam 2 been delayed, but The Flash pushed up like 4 weeks? That seems like such a random move. Like there's probably a reason behind it, but it sounds like a bit odd,
Because you said that Black Adam isn't delayed, right?
Black Adam hasn't moved, no. But even The Rock said, like on one of his live streams, that he isn't sure if that's going to be filming on time.
Oh, that's weird.
So it was meant to be filming this summer.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay, well, I guess it's mainly depends on locations and everything, if they can get to wherever they want to film.
Yeah.
Because obviously they're not going to just sit and film in a green screen studio. They're going to want to go out into the real world. But yeah, no, that is actually quite interesting. But I think the most interesting thing out of that slate as well is that there is no buddy up movie in there. Like, there's no Justice League kind of reboot or anything like that.
Yeah, well, I think they're mostly. If you just look at that list, apart from Suicide Squad, everyone is like a solo film.
Yeah,
and I think that's what they're gonna focus in on a bit more.
I presume,
especially I think after Joker, which made like $1 billion.
I presume though that Shazam 2 will have Black Adam in it.
Oh yeah, I definitely think so.
Yeah, because I feel like that's what they're setting up for. Yeah, because for some weird reason they're turning Black Adam into an anti-villain, or not an anti-villain, an anti-hero.
Yeah, well, I think when you have The Rock as your main guy, I mean, it's very. Can you buy The Rock as a villain? It's when they try to make Will Smith, in Suicide Squad, I'm a bad guy. It's like, are you though? Because you're Will Smith. You're way too likable to be a villain. Birkin, have you ever watched The Hunger Games?
I have. I've not seen the part 2 of the final movie though.
You know what? I'm exactly the same.
I don't know why.
I watched 1, 2, 3, and then I just never saw the last one.
Yeah, like I saw the first part, and I was like, "This is quite good. I don't mind it." But yeah, I've just never got around to watching the second part.
Yeah, I thought the first one was, above average. I liked the second one. The third one I thought was very slow.
See, I didn't mind
and
it.
I think I thought that kind of dampened my hype for part 2.
Because I didn't mind it because I quite liked the political stuff of it. Like, I was quite into the politics. And
well, this might be interesting to you then. Do you know what I'm about to say?
Go for it.
So Lionsgate have announced that they're producing a prequel movie to the Hunger Games series. The film will be written by the book series writer Susan Collins, who wrote the prequel book, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snake, which was actually the prequel book, and this is based on that. So the director of Hunger Games 2 and both parts of 3 is going to return to direct, and the film will focus on Coriolanus Snow, I think, praying to God I've said that right, at age 18, years before he became the tyrannical president of Panem that he is in the Hunger Games series. The Snow family has fallen on hard times, and he sees a chance for change in his fortunes when he is chosen to be a mentor for the 10th Hunger Games and is assigned to mentor the girl tribute from the impoverished District 12. No word on when it's going to come out, but I'm assuming in the next 3 years. What are your thoughts on this?
Did
Are
anybody
you
ask?
interested?
Did anybody ask for a prequel?
No, but you know what? This has actually got me a bit interested. If this was like a prequel on, and we were just seeing the younger characters from the Hunger Games films, like Katniss's cousin, I don't know, yeah, then I wouldn't be interested. But this is actually going to be interesting. The fact that it's based on the villain,
yeah.
and how like the younger version of that, it could be like I'm getting Revenge of the Sith vibes. I could definitely see that happening.
See,
that'd be super interesting.
If it was, say, like a prequel of it's Katniss's mother's daughter's son, or like a sequel with it being Katniss's daughter or son or whatever, I would completely say no. But like you said, it is quite interesting that they're taking it on doing a backstory for the villain.
And he's the hero as well.
Yeah, that's a nice approach, I think. It'll be nice to see how, I guess, he falls from grace. That's going to be quite interesting. And like that world is, I quite like that world compared to
the politics are really interesting.
Yeah, like compared to your other young adult films, like your Divergence and everything. I'd definitely say The Hunger Games is one of the better ones.
Yeah. Well, that's the 3 big ones. That's the 3 big young adult series. It's Hunger Games, Harry Potter, Twilight,
Yeah.
And then you had a bunch of people try and replicate that success with Divergent and like Maze Runner. But my God, Divergent is it's just the Hunger Games. Like almost everything is exactly the same. I couldn't get over it. It was mad. But I'm interested in this because hopefully they do it, the way I've got it in my head. I mean, if they don't, I'm not going to be mad like, oh, they didn't do what I wanted to do and I clearly know best. But, the fact that I'm hoping it's going to be more like political and it'll, show what the more wealthy side of this world's going to be like. Because, the Hunger Games films was Katniss came from like this proper poor district. This could be interesting in that it's someone from the exact opposite end,
Just don't give him a love interest. For the love of God.
Oh, well, he said he's going to be the mentor of this girl from District 12. They're falling in love, Birkin.
God damn.
You just know it.
I get it, it's relatable, but can we stop, like, shoving this into every single movie? Why can't they just be friends?
They just have a crisp high five. It's gonna be like, she's gonna like they're gonna become close. She's gonna screw him over, and you know what? He's gonna be like, you know what? I just hate the poor. So that's why.
Isn't that just what happened to Anakin?
That's when he becomes the villain. Yeah, that's exactly what happens to Anakin. He just hates the poor.
Oh God.
But I'm super interested.
No, I'm hyped.
This has got me curious.
I'm curious.
There's someone who doesn't really care for the Hunger Games franchise. I'm actually genuinely interested in how this is going to pan out.
Yeah, no, I'm the same. I'm very interested to see how this will turn out.
So, should we move on to TV?
Let's do it.
Because you and I want to talk about something that we both finished on the same day.
Yes.
We're both very late to the party. First off, I've got 2 other things to mention. Better Call Saul season 5 just finished. Loved it. I know it's very slow at the start, but people should 100% check it out. It's amazing. And also, Afterlife season 2 just came out today. Have you watched the show Afterlife?
No, I've been very interested to watch it, but I've never got.
It's very good. You can watch the whole thing in like 2.5 hours.
Oh, they're not very long.
No, it's like 6 20 to half an hour episodes.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. So they're proper short. And I'm already like halfway through season 2. Yeah, I had to stop it. I had to pause just to do this. But yeah, it's great. It's really funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the humor's quite subtle at times, but it is really quite funny. But a show that we both want to talk about is Ozark.
Yes.
We've both finished season 3 today, and we haven't talked about what we think. There's going to be spoilers for season 3, or just the show in general. But there's going to be timestamps in the comments, well, in the description section, where you could just skip ahead to the next topic. But Birkin, what did you think of Ozark season 3? Go.
See, so at first when I watched this show, I was a bit like, oh, it's kind of just Breaking Bad, right? Like pretty much
Exactly,
everybody
yeah.
thinks. But I really enjoyed this show. I mean, I think my favorite part about this show is the amount of misery that the writers keep like giving to this family. Like,
Yeah.
that's what kept me watching. I was like, how much do these writers hate this family? Like, they cannot catch a break.
It's almost like every time, there's like one step forward, 2 steps back,
Like, they get a win and then they suddenly lose.
Yeah, when I watched the first episode, I was very much like, this feels a lot, almost like a sort of rip-off of Breaking Bad, where it's like a family, mostly, the dad's involved with a Mexican drug cartel. There was people getting burned in like chemical barrels as well, and I was like, this is just Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
And then at the end of episode 2, when it ends with Wendy Bird telling the kids, oh yeah, we're just laundering money for a drug cartel. That's when it really caught my interest. I was like, oh, okay, so it's actually gone in a different direction, because I kind of predicted what was going to happen was that, oh, maybe that will happen at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's super interesting, and yeah, it's very miserable. It's like Breaking Bad, but with none of the fun. But I kind of love it, and I think season 3 was by far the best.
I agree. I
thought it was so good. I think the guy who plays Wendy's brother,
the
bipolar brother, he was so good.
I was about to say that I wanted to give a special shout out to him. Phenomenal.
He was he was great.
Like, because the episode where it's just him in the taxi and like he's talking to himself, I was just like glued to my seat. Like, because
it felt real as well.
Yeah,
it felt very real.
I read an interview with him, and he said that like a lot of people felt it came across improvised, and that just shows how well written the lines were, that they genuinely felt real.
Yeah, and just the first scene he was in as well, when he was a substitute teacher.
Yeah,
and he just gets everyone's phones and he chucks them in the what was it, like the
bin?
Yeah, like almost like that garbage disposal type thing.
Yeah,
oh, it was great. But also, just there was constant tension, and what was it? Just the final scene of episode 3. Not of episode 3, episode 10 of season 3.
Yeah,
with Helen just getting blasted in the side of her head, and I was like, Jesus. I had to rewatch it like 3-4 times just to make sure I actually saw what I saw. It took me off, but I can't even speak, Birkin.
Do you reckon she had to ask her client before she got shot?
Well, that was the thing, wasn't it? She was like, if I'm gonna get killed, tell me.
Yeah,
and then he just didn't.
The amount of time she had to be like, oh, I have to be in touch with my client. It was so annoying. I was like, stop. Like, I really disliked her character, and I'm glad she's gone.
Disliked in that she wasn't a bad character, but she was like, you kind of love to hate her a bit.
Yeah,
but you couldn't tell a lot of the time, is she good? Is she bad? And I felt that way with Darlene.
Darlene.
I couldn't tell her she was
killed.
Oh, 100%. She shot a dude's dick off with a rifle. It's like, mate, you're not coming back from that.
She was her relationship with Wyatt. Oh my god.
Oh, I was horrified watching that scene.
I was like, dude.
My mouth was open. I was like,
dude, go after Charlotte. What the fuck are you doing?
That's what I thought was hilarious. They set that up and then just nope.
But he's probably he's got some mummy issues, I think.
You reckon? No, but yeah, I thought Dolly, you couldn't tell if she was good or bad,
No,
She was like bad for Wendy, but you kind of felt good that she kind of had Ruth's back.
yeah, that's the
Yeah.
thing. Like, I think they're trying to get you to warm up to her. It
Mm.
might end up being that the birds and Darlene and everyone may end up actually taking on the drug cartel. That's the kind of vibe I'm
Yeah.
getting.
What's everything going on with the FBI agents right
Hmm.
now,
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
It's,
that pregnant FBI agent, they didn't just make her pregnant just for no reason. That's
yeah.
going to play into it. That's going to be like a big story beat at
I
some
think
point.
Darlene's got her eyes on that baby. Jesus.
Maybe that's why she went for Wyatt. She was like, I'll get the youngest thing I can.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That scene when Jonah, the son,
Hmm.
goes to visit Helen with the shotgun.
Yeah.
Did you? I was so like, is he gonna kill her? Is he not? Like, I genuinely had no
I
clue.
thought he was going to shoot one of the kids by mistake.
I wouldn't have been surprised either. Yeah, that was the thing. I
Because
thought, oh, the kid's gonna come down. Yeah,
that would have kicked
but now it's like,
something off.
yeah, like what's gonna happen with Erin,
Oh,
Helen's
Aaron.
daughter?
Poor
Yeah,
Jonah can't get a win, can he? But
yeah, but it's yeah. I really at first I was kind of just I wasn't sure at first because it is very slow. The
yeah,
show is particularly season 2 is very slow, and
see,
sometimes the episodes feel long because of just how miserable they are. But
that's the
season
thing.
3, I got through very quickly.
Because when I was watching the first couple of episodes, I was like, can we please go back to the money laundering? I wasn't really
Yeah,
invested in like Ruth and everything, but it does really pick up. And I have to say two things. One, this show is incredibly blue. and,
it is. Yeah,
and secondly, I love the cinematography. Like when Wendy is arguing with Marty and she's in like one part of the house and you can see Marty just through the windows. Like,
yeah.
I really like that because usually
Mm.
shows will just cut back and forth, but that was really nicely done.
I can't remember her name either, and I feel awful. But the actress who plays Wendy Bird, I think she's the best in the show, especially in episode 9 of season 3. That was insane. Because it starts off like Jason Bateman. He's like the main guy.
Yeah,
The dad. But then it very slowly. I would almost say Wendy Bird's like the main character at this point.
yeah, I think so. The actress's name is Laura Linney or Linney.
Known from Love Actually. That was the peak of her acting career.
She was in there. I
Yeah,
did not know that. Okay, well,
yeah,
but yeah, no, she's a fantastic actress.
yeah.
Like you said, it starts off with like Marty being the main character, but it really shifts and makes
Mm.
Wendy the lead of the show.
And it's just every time they form like a bond or they join with another person,
Yeah.
like with the horse lot,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
just like they're like, oh yeah, nothing's gonna go wrong. And in your head, you're just waiting. You're just waiting for something to go wrong.
That's my thing. Like, because I was like, so you got involved with the rednecks. Darlene would probably have me butchered for that. Then you have the Mexican drug cartel, and then at that point they got involved with the KC mob, and I was like,
Yeah.
Jesus, like, who else are they going to get dragged into this?
Mm. Well, they dragged in. I would actually say this was the best character of season 3, hands down. The therapist.
Jeez. Oh,
Pulling up in that yellow sports car.
the McLaren.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. I love
I
that.
laughed my head off when she got out of it.
I found it so funny when Helen visited her and she was like, you know what? I'm going to need more money to get over this.
Yeah. Papped.
Papped. Booyah. Oh, but no, she was
Yeah.
hilarious.
I'm kind of sad though that the guy, the brother's not gonna be in the show
Oh,
anymore.
same. I really liked his character.
Yeah, because I kind of have this mentality where if you don't see the character die, they're not dead.
Yeah.
But it felt very concrete that he's dead.
Yeah. A little bit. I mean, they did burn a body.
Yeah. But they could have been anybody.
Well, why?
That's the thing. Like, I wouldn't have been surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if he does turn up. But I'm like 90% certain he's gone.
But if he does survive, how would he get away? Like, wouldn't Nelson have killed him anyway?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I want to know how they did it because he was in front of like this full restaurant.
That's what I was thinking. I think maybe he like convinced him that Helen wanted to talk, and then maybe like shot him in the car. That would be my assumption. Because you can't really make it anything too graphic because he's in the middle of a restaurant. But it was a hard watch seeing Wendy leaving him behind.
That's what I was talking about. Yeah, that was woof.
Yeah.
So good. I'm really hoping that Netflix don't pull like a Daredevil and just cancel this shit.
Oh,
you know?
Has it been confirmed?
Please
for season
don't
4?
do it. No, as far as I know, no, it hasn't been confirmed yet.
I've just had a look here, and apparently season 3 viewership of Ozark has gone up. So I presume we'll be getting a season 4.
That's the thing, yeah. See, yeah, the viewership of season 3 was mental because I knew like a handful of people who talked about Ozark beforehand, before season 3, but in the last month, it's like proper blown off. You know, now it's like the hot show.
Yeah.
You know,
I think because didn't season 3 drop in the middle of like all the virus stuff?
It came out, late last month. But also there was this whole year gap in between season 2 and season 3. There was no Ozark last year.
Okay, I didn't know.
So I'm hoping season 4 comes out next year and they don't do it again.
Yeah, I hope so too.
We have to wait till 2022.
Yeah, now you've got me hooked.
No.
You can't do that.
Exactly. Speaking of TV, we got some more shows coming to TV. We got a new Star Wars show coming to Disney Plus. Have you heard about this?
No.
So we got Russian doll showrunner Leslie Headland is working on a new Star Wars TV series for Disney Plus. It's said to be female-centric, set in a different part of the timeline than other current Star Wars projects, and it's going to be heavily focused on martial arts. And that's literally all we know right now. I'm curious to see how Star Wars martial arts works. Or I mean, we've seen a bit of it from just the Jedi in general, but how that's going to then play out.
So it's the raid in space.
The raid in space. Yeah, instead of machetes, it's all like lightsabers. Yeah. Well, I mean, we got a bit of in Rogue One, we had Donnie Yen. He was like a bit of like a martial arts.
With his monk style thing.
Yeah, and also just look at how the Jedi fought, like in the prequels. That was kind of martial arty.
No, I'm
so curious to see what's going to happen.
Like, I know the Star Wars movies aren't great, but the TV shows aren't too bad. So I'm kind of interested to see what they can do with this. Personally, I wish they would wait a little bit because I'm kind of like burnt out of Star Wars in the nicest way. But yeah, what are your thoughts on this?
I'm kind of the same. When I read this, I was like, cool, and that was about it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not too hyped right now. I think I really do, especially after we've had Star Wars like every year for the last 4 years. You know, I'm ready for a bit of a breather, you know? Yeah.
See, I was always hoping that Star Wars would be like a big event thing where it wouldn't be every year or every other year. It would be like every 3 years you would get the next movie in the line. Something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And it felt like that when The Force Awakens came out.
Yeah.
But after that, it kind of the gravitas of it there was less and less of it with each project.
Yeah.
You know?
No, 100%.
Yeah.
I just wish
to the point where I remember watching the trailers for episode 9 and just kind of feeling nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Compared to when The Force Awakens first trailer dropped, we were all like, people were grabbing their like old Star Wars sheets, making capes out of them, humming the theme song, everything like that, proper hyped. And then, like you say, right?
All we had last year, all we had was Palpatine memes.
Yeah.
That's the closest we got. Palpatine's unaltered guidebook of how to kill himself. Electrocute myself for the
Strike
third
me
time.
down.
Well, he electrocuted himself from Revenge of the Sith, Return of the Jedi, and now Rise of Skywalker.
You think he would have learned by
Just
now?
stop shooting the lightning, mate.
Stop. Oh, God.
You're doing this. I'm treading on eggshells here. But I don't know how I feel about them being like, oh, this is a female-centric show.
Mm-hmm.
Like when they made The Mandalorian, they weren't like, oh, here we're going to make a male-centric show.
Yeah.
Like that's your selling. Like if you want to sell me on a show, like tell me what it's about. Don't tell me the genitals of the main character. You know?
Yeah.
You know, it feels like it almost makes it feel a bit gimmicky. You know,
that's the thing.
Almost a bit pandering.
But you don't have to pander it. Like when you pander it, it just becomes just gimmicky, and it kind of feels forced. And
like you're almost patting yourself on the back.
Yeah,
like we're doing such a good job.
It shouldn't be like that. It should come across natural.
They should have just announced the show and then just hire female people and just let people figure it out for themselves.
Yeah, I think so. It would have been better. Yeah.
It'd be weird. It'd be kind of weird. They're like, okay, we're going to do this male-centric show. Like, almost sounds like, it makes you sound like more of a minority than you are. You know?
You sound like a dick.
Yeah, it'd be kind of, I don't know, it's kind of strange. But I'm looking forward to it, though, because Russian Doll apparently is really good. I haven't seen it, but I know people who have seen it really like it.
I hear the same things.
Yeah, I mean, it's starting to, you know, Disney Plus Star Wars is starting to pick up again. You know, Obi-Wan looks like it's getting picked up again. Mandalorian Season 3, they've already said they've begun working on that. So, yeah, I mean, we probably won't get this till like 2022, 2023 maybe.
Away.
Yeah, but you know who's involved in Star Wars?
Who's that?
J.J. Abrams. And you know what J.J. Abrams is about to now do? What's
he doing now?
He's bringing Justice League Dark to HBO Max.
Ooh.
So Warner Media have announced they're teaming up with J.J. Abrams' company, Bad Robot, to bring Justice League Dark to HBO. Details are currently being kept under wraps. The team in the comics, at least, consists of Zatanna, Deadman, Swamp Thing, and John Constantine. Currently, there's no word on if Swamp Thing and Constantine are going to carry over from the shows that they're currently in. But Warner Brothers has attempted to bring, you know, Justice League Dark to the big screen a few times. They had Guillermo del Toro and Doug Liman attached, and then they left. So this is now their new way of trying to get it, and that's to get it going on TV. What do you think?
No, I'm very excited. It'll be nice to see something that's still comic book, but a little different.
Yeah, I thought Guillermo del Toro sounded like the perfect fit for it.
Oh, 100%.
You know?
Oh, I can imagine that.
You know, HBO's, you know, it's a prestigious, you know, platform. It's not going to be some CW, you know, the Swamp Thing's going to be made out of leather or something, you know, like everything else on those shows.
Yeah.
If people like them, that's great. You know, I watched like the first 2 seasons of Arrow, but every costume's made out of like a leather jacket.
Yeah, I think it's the same in The Flash as well.
Yeah.
To be fair, the first few seasons of Arrow aren't terrible. It just kind of gets
they're good. Yeah, they're enjoyable.
Yeah,
but I'm interested to see, you know, like a high budget, you know, attempt at this, because they've already sort of dipped their toes into the water with Watchmen. You know, HBO did Watchmen, so I'm interested to see like how big scale this is even going to be. You know,
that's the thing. I think it's going to be an interesting approach, and it's going to be something a little different. I think it might, if it's successful, I think it's going to have the same kind of effect that Guardians of the Galaxy did.
Yeah, it's definitely got that potential. This is probably the best way to go instead of a movie.
Yeah.
Because dumping I don't know if I would dump like $200+ million into this, you know? But, you know, maybe like 80 something million on like one season of a show. That's a better idea to me.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's because obviously, like, the characters aren't as well known as well.
Exactly, yeah.
I know Guardians of the Galaxy weren't well known and everything as well, but that was more of the risk that just kind of worked. At this point, I don't think Warner Brothers wants to make any risks because they've already done that and it hasn't turned out well.
Well, the big Justice League didn't do what they think. Exactly. They didn't do as well as they thought it would. So why would they want to risk this offshoot of Justice League? You know, but I'm definitely interested to see how it's going to play out. When it comes to gaming news, is there anything that's been happening? So,
my friend, what have you recently been playing? I have spent a good amount of time on Goat Simulator.
Oh, I remember Goat Simulator when it first came out. I played like the demo of it,
Mhm.
and you just kind of yeet through the sky, don't you?
Yeah, pretty much. It's not really a game you take seriously. It's just a good like mess around.
It's not got that emotional, gripping narrative of
No,
Red Dead Redemption 2.
no, there's no evil there's no evil men. There's no diseases. You're just this goat who just wants to fuck shit up.
I mean, what goat doesn't? So
Exactly. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? The goat's face is mainly based on the devil, isn't it? Something like that.
yeah, yeah. You ever watched The Witch?
Oh, yeah, true.
Have you ever watched
What
The
have you?
Witch? Yeah, Black Phillip. Black Phillip is like the devil, and he's a
Oh,
goat.
yes, yes. I forgot about that. Good point.
Yeah.
Uh,
Wouldst thou like to live deliciously?
oh, what have you been playing?
We were talking about Rockstar in the last episode. I was
Mhm.
thinking about some other projects, that they did. So I jumped back into Max Payne 3.
Oh, okay, yes.
Have you ever played Max Payne 3?
I've not played it, but I have
Oh,
watched a walkthrough of it, so I know the entire story. And
okay.
I do
It's
like
so good.
the bullet time style things. Those are very cool.
It's the closest we're going to get to like a video game adaptation of John Wick. But
Okay, yeah.
it's really cool. I think the first time I played it, I was like 15.
Mhm.
But now, pushing 23, playing it now, you're seeing it through more adult eyes. You had more, I don't want to say too much life experience, because there's probably some 50-year-old guy watching this going, you know nothing about the outside world. But,
Oh,
I could relate to Max a bit more. That's all.
mhm.
And
Yeah.
it's so good. And yeah, such an unappreciated gem that just kind of came and went.
Fantastic stuff. In terms of PlayStation news, Guerrilla Games, the studio behind Horizon Zero Dawn and Killzone, uh, posted a job application on Twitter. Yes, a very weird place to post a job application.
Yeah.
For senior programmer. This tweet was shortly deleted, but here's the catch. It was for a PlayStation 5 game.
Mm.
I
Oh,
believe,
so it's going to be Horizon 2 then?
pretty much, I believe it pretty much confirms Horizon Zero Dawn 2 is happening, which we all kind of already knew.
Yeah. Horizon was huge, wasn't it? It was
Yes.
it kind of took off.
It's actually a
Thing is
brilliant
that
game.
yeah, I've played a little bit of it and it was pretty mad. Well, the
Like,
thing is though, when I think about these kind of games, what does that title even mean? Horizon Zero Dawn.
I think
That's like 3 random words they picked out of a hat and they went, there we go.
I think
You
Zero
know?
Dawn was the name of the program or the event that happened. I can't remember. I played the game
Oh,
ages ago, but I think that's what it was.
God,
Um,
yeah, okay.
but the game in
It
itself,
was a really cool concept though,
yeah,
wasn't it?
the
It's
concept is
like, yeah,
fantastic. Like when I first saw the
future
images,
cavemen.
yeah, I first saw the images and I went, "This game looks incredible!" Like to the point where Kojima ended up using the engine for Death Stranding.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he used the Decima engine, which is the same engine that Guerrilla Games uses. Well, it's their engine,
Okay.
and they offered it to Kojima to use in Death Stranding, so he did. Um,
That's cool. Yeah. If Kojima asks, you don't say no.
no, pretty much. But yeah, no, I'm very excited for this because I absolutely love the first one, and I'm really interested to see the more dinosaurs, the mechanical dinosaurs in the games. The game ends on a cliffhanger as well. So,
Oh, does it?
and there's this like gigantic like monster that's like dead or asleep, but it's like this like massive octopus looking thing, but you don't fight it. Um,
Oh, so that you're gonna fight in this one, in the
you
next
do,
one, I'm
yeah,
assuming.
because it's like asleep and it doesn't awake, and it's like made into this massive mountain as well.
Mm.
So I feel like if that thing awakens, like you're just gonna have like an avalanche that's gonna destroy all these like minority buildings that have been built by the you know cave people.
Mm.
So
I'm surprised. Did the first one not end with its eyes just going like opening up or
no,
something?
I think what happened was there was this mentor guy that you worked with, and he ends up basically taking the possessed spirit of the
Right.
evil technological monsters, and he ends up like capturing it in this like lantern or something. It was. Um, and then it kind of just ended, and it was really confusing because like this guy was helping you, but now he's also got like the spirit of this like monster trapped.
Hmm.
It's very confusing. I like loosely remember the details of the game, but it is fantastic. I definitely recommend it to anybody out there, especially in quarantine. Definitely check it out.
Hmm.
It's a fun play. Um,
Hmm.
yeah. And speaking of fun plays, here's something that's not fun. Facebook, yes, our all fantastic privacy friend, um, has decided to launch a gaming app to take on YouTube, or as Bernie Sanders would say, the YouTube, um, and Twitch.
Wait, YouTube has a gaming app?
No, well, YouTube has a gaming section, doesn't it? Um,
Does it?
yeah, just
Now
like
I sound like the old man.
yeah, it's got like when you like get recommended videos and stuff, and it will say
Oh
like
right.
gaming and stuff like that. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, and obviously they want to take
It does.
Twitch.
Sorry, yeah, I've just noticed.
Yes,
I've never noticed that.
but yeah, so Facebook wants to take on Twitch, wants to take on YouTube, and
Hmm.
it's going to be interesting to see how this works. Personally, I think it's a waste of time.
Yeah. Um, I'm not surprised by this
No.
because Facebook, well, they all kind of piggyback on what's popular, don't they?
Yes.
Like Facebook kind of like takes whatever's popular at the time. Like they did. Remember, stories were famous on Snapchat. There's
Oh.
stories on Facebook. Do you remember Periscope, the
Yes.
big live
Oh.
streaming app that
Yeah.
was like huge? And then Facebook got what Facebook Live now. Skype, that was a huge thing. Now Facebook has video and voice call. It's like it kind of takes whatever's big at the time.
Well, that's
You
the
know,
thing because I know they're opening up Facebook dating as well. So
yeah, Facebook, Tinder, yeah.
so it's like
Wait till Facebook, TikTok.
oh god, no, I'm really not interested in this at all. Like, if I want to watch a YouTuber or if I want to watch a streamer, I'm gonna go on Twitch. I'm gonna go on YouTube.
Mm.
I'm not gonna go on fucking Facebook. Like,
Go on Facebook, just poke the shit out of them.
literally,
Can you still poke? Can you still poke on
I don't
Facebook?
know if that's still a thing. I don't know if that got
I need
removed.
to do some
Like, that's the
further
thing. I don't
research.
even like personally. I don't even use Facebook anymore. It's just there to like scroll through.
Yeah, you use it because everyone else uses it. That's
Yeah,
the only reason. And I
literally.
feel like everyone else is in the same boat. They only use it because everyone else uses.
Yeah, it's just somewhere easy to message people. That's literally it.
Yeah,
Like, I haven't
yeah.
posted anything on my status update for like I want to say 8 years now.
I think the last thing I think of the only reason this sounds really bad. The only time I'd post anything on Facebook is to like whore myself out. Like, watch my films, please,
Promotion.
please. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. Just spam Facebook
that's the thing.
pages.
It's really annoying recently with their promotion because you can pay. So you'll get like a bunch of these like random streamers that you've never heard of playing like Grand Theft Auto, and they'll just be popping up. And now, moving on to the Xbox news. Phil Spencer, the CEO of the Xbox department of Microsoft, uh,
Mm.
recently
The
sent out
Dorito King.
yes, recently ended up sending out a tweet. His tweet read, reviewed plans yesterday for continued sharing through launch. Team is doing great work and adapting. I've never been more excited about Xbox plans. We've heard you. You want transparency and authenticity. We plan to keep showing that way. Next step is not too much of a wait. Brackets, games. So, what this means is that he has hinted at the Xbox Series X games potentially being revealed for May. And this is very interesting
Yeah.
because Phil Spencer is
Yeah.
a man I highly respect. He has completely revamped Microsoft's gaming department.
Mm. Yeah, I like him. Yeah, Phil Spencer, he seems like a pretty cool dude. And I'm kind of glad that they're actually announcing stuff,
Mhm.
because apart from that, there's like that one game they put a trailer out for the PS5, but apart from that, that's it. Like, we don't know anything that's coming out for these new consoles, And if we're supposed to slap down like 500 quid on these machines after we've just come out of like a pandemic where most of us are short of money, we
Yeah.
need to know what we're actually going to be playing on these things.
Well, yeah,
you know
you've got your usual suspects because obviously we know we're getting another Halo. There'll be another Forza,
Call of Duty.
Call
Yeah.
of Duty. There'll be another sequel to this and that. But the thing is, what I really like about Microsoft at the moment is that they have gone out and bought studios for their first party.
Yeah.
Recently, they purchased Ninja Theory, which is a fantastic purchase, by the way. Um, they're the people that are behind the Hellblade game. I don't know if you ever played them. Fantastic games.
That's one that's on my list.
Um, Absolutely brilliant. But yeah, and a few others as well. I believe they bought Obsidian. I'm not 100% sure, but I think the people who are behind the Outer Worlds games,
Okay.
they previously,
Yeah.
before that, I think they worked on Fallout New Vegas. I'm not 100% sure though.
Mm.
But yeah, I'm very excited to see what Xbox end up doing, because this time around, they can really put it to Sony in the exclusive department, which I would argue was
Yeah.
probably their weakest area.
Yeah, I think Microsoft is aware that they I don't want to say, that console war, but they lost to Sony this generation big time.
Yes.
Nearly everyone I know has a PS4 over an Xbox One. I know very few people that have one. And a big reason of that is because PlayStation is just where all the games were. I mean, you had obviously you had Horizon Zero Dawn, you had Spider-Man PS4, you had The Last of Us, you had Uncharted 4, you got Ghost of Tsushima, and there's so much. You had God of War,
Mhm.
all these like Sony exclusives, and lots of companies like Call of Duty, for example, all their stuff comes out on PlayStation first.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. I think it was similar with Red Dead Redemption 2. They like a lot of their stuff came out for
I think
PS4 first.
the way the third party developers work is they will always go to whoever owns the market first. Because I remember with the 360 that Call of Duty stuff was coming out first on that.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
So they're
yeah.
just going for whoever's got the most market share.
Mm,
I think what really pandered Microsoft is originally when they came out with the whole DRM stuff, which rumor had it Sony was also doing, but they saw the
was that the
backlash.
always online thing?
Yes, and they
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember that.
it's also about owning your own games where you wouldn't own them. You would technically pay, but they'd be like locked behind this server, and you can share them with your friends. Um, but originally, apparently, it was rumored Sony was going to be doing this as well, but Microsoft went
Mm,
on first, and they said they were doing this. There was a huge backlash, so Sony took the opportunity to do the reverse of that, and I think that's, as well as the exclusivity, is where Microsoft lost their market share. Um, Personally, like again, I don't want to start a fan war. I think they're completely pointless and a waste of time. Um, Both have areas they excel at. Both have areas they're weak at. Competition is good. I would never personally. I'm more of a PlayStation guy, but I respect Microsoft as a company, and I respect Xbox as a brand. And I
yeah,
say bring on
definitely.
competition because competition is good.
Well, yeah, it's like if you didn't have any competition, then you would feel no real need to innovate.
That's the
You know,
thing, exactly. Like they could just bring out just like EA the same FIFA game for the last 20 years. Like that's what companies could do.
exactly. Yeah.
And it's
Um,
nice to like, for example, with this whole buying out studios, we could see a real like resurgence in both Sony and Microsoft going out and buying smaller studios.
yeah, because even though I own a PS4, I still get excited when I hear about next gen Xbox stuff.
Mhm.
Because it's like a glimpse into, okay, we can kind of expect this for the future and all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly. That's the thing. I
Yeah, and
always felt like the whole fanboy war thing, it's a waste of time because you're arguing for a brand's sake. Once they have your money,
yeah,
they don't care. Like,
exactly. Yeah, but yeah, I think Xbox is where a lot of people go when it comes to multiplayer.
yes, I think I
Yeah,
agree with that. I think their servers are better.
yeah, and when it comes to just multiplayer stuff in general, Xbox feels like that's where it kind of belongs.
Yeah,
You think of PlayStation, yeah, you think of like God of War, Last of Us, Spider Man, all single player stuff, you know?
I would.
And whereas I think of like Xbox and I just think of like Call of Duty, Battlefield, all this kind of stuff,
Yeah, I would
you
totally
know?
agree with that. I think that if you're a single player guy, PlayStation's the better place to be. There's just like via the exclusives, there's just more single player exclusive games where there are more
Mm,
stories that you can like dive into. While I would always argue that Microsoft has much better servers. Because let's be honest, Microsoft has a lot more money than Sony does. Um, so in that regard, like their servers are going to be better, considering that this is also a company which is, a software company as well as a hardware company.
yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how next gen develops now with the pandemic, and obviously, if we do get some kind of conference event from Xbox digitally, that'd be nice to see. Because obviously, Sony
Definitely.
remaining very quiet about what they're doing.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. At first I was like I think they've accidentally stumbled into a good tactic because at first I was like, Sony's being way too quiet. They're being way too quiet about this whole thing, because we've seen what the Series X looks like since December,
Yes.
you know, and before this whole virus kicked off, I thought, oh, this is not the best way to go about it. But I feel like because this virus has now happened, they've accidentally stumbled into the good tactic where they don't know if they want to. The fact they haven't put much out already means it's not too much of a big blow if they have to delay it.
Yeah, I think that's a
Yeah.
good
Whereas
point.
with the Series X, they've put so much out now. If they have to delay it, I feel like it'd be a bigger blow to them.
That's a good point. The only worry about delaying it is losing market share, because if
Mm,
the Xbox releases and then the PlayStation releases, say like a year down the line, that's a lot of time lost. Like very
that's the
likely
thing.
you'll
Yeah.
still get people purchasing it anyway. But like it's always better to kind of release them both around the same time because that's what usually always happens anyway. Um,
Yeah. I feel like you can't put your console out 6 months after
yeah,
the bloke before
I
you
mean,
has.
I know Nintendo always releases first anyway, but like,
Yeah, but do people really count that? You know, I feel
um,
like Nintendo's like its own separate thing.
I think Nintendo is will always be a family place. Um,
Exactly. Yeah.
like they own that market. They are the family market. Like
Yeah, you got like Animal Crossing, Zelda,
yeah,
Mario.
like don't get me wrong, Nintendo still make great games for like your hardcore gamers and everything like that. But
Mm,
it just seemed like I can never see Nintendo releasing an adult console, for example. Not to say that
yeah.
Switch isn't an adult console, but it's more family friendly than say a PlayStation is or an Xbox is.
Yeah. Yeah. You won't see Nintendo promoting their device with like Call of Duty on it.
Yeah, or like Grand Theft
you know,
Auto on.
they'll always promote their stuff with like Zelda and Mario and all that kind of stuff.
They're still great franchises, but
Oh yeah, but I'm very excited for the next. I just get excited about technology in general, and just like
it's always
I'm a big.
nice.
Even though I know nothing about the internal specs or whatever, even though that goes
Yes.
completely through one ear out the other, I get very excited about like new tech and what it can do because I love that kind of
You're
stuff.
excited about the
You
new
know.
teraflops.
Oh yes, I want a console that can like turn invisible and can fly and all that
Oh
shit.
man, brilliant. But yeah,
Just like because like I said, when I'm playing Max Payne 3 on my 360, it's so jarring to me that I can't just. But if I need to, you know, walk away from the TV for like 20 minutes, I can't put it into rest mode like I can in my PS4. I have to turn the thing all the way off and then reboot everything back up again. You know, it's
Yeah, I
crazy
get
how
what
like that never came to my mind when there was no next gen out, but now it's out. It's like you kind of completely take it for granted. So I'm curious as to what's going to be in these new ones that's going to make me think, oh god, how did I even play the PS4 like this? You know?
That's the thing. That's the vibe I get when I go back to play like on a PlayStation 3. I'm like, man, this feels so weird compared to like what you
Yeah.
currently play.
Is that everything when it comes
That is
to topics?
everything in terms of the gaming news.
Oh, cool. Well, I think that's pretty much everything. So yeah, I hope people, I guess, enjoyed this episode. I hope they enjoyed us rambling about. The links to some of my social media are in the description. Birkin doesn't have any because he's a caveman
I'll have
and
some
doesn't
at
want to be a
some
part of the
point.
outside world. At some point, don't go on it. You're a much more innocent man because you don't have it. Comment below on what you think on all these topics. Look forward to reading all of them. Should be very interesting. And yeah, I'm looking forward to doing this again next week.
Next week was going to be good. Hopefully, we've got more news.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, I think things are going to. Now we seem to almost have like the worst behind us. Hopefully, things will begin to pick up a bit more.
Yeah. I mean, like, if we do definitely get something from, like, you know, your gaming side or TV side, it should be hopefully very interesting to see.
Indeed, yes. Right. Well, I'll see you guys next week.
Peace out and stay safe.
Yeah, wash your bloody hands.